Welcome to episode 4 of the Current Backloggers. I'm your host, KCP, along with my good friend and co-host, Cody G.
That's me.
Cody, what have you been up to?
Just moving, man.
Yeah.
Not really moving. I was just setting stuff up every free moment of the day. But before work, after work, all the time, building IKEA something, moving something over there, installing something. I fixed the garbage disposal.
Yeah?
I got excited about buying a hammer. Like, I was looking at hammer reviews and going to the store and buying hammers and trash cans and furniture. And it's terrible. The painters had poured house paint down the drain into the garbage disposal, and it just stopped working. So I had to dig house paint outside of the garbage disposal and started working again. For now.
Yeah.
I don't know how deep the house paint went. It was terrible. I don't know why they did that.
Okay, so just the house stuff, nothing else for you?
And work, that's just it. It's terrible. It's fun, but it's also I haven't played a game in, well, besides mobile games, like 2 weeks. We can get into that. I've been playing something on my phone.
Oh.
Do you want to get into it now?
Yeah, we can do that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been playing a game called Zuba.
Zuba?
Zuba.
Well,
I got a bunch of notes on Zuba.
let's hear it.
It's basically, it's a battle royale,
Uh-huh.
but it's like League of Legends.
Sounds terrible.
It's by this company called Wildlife Studios, and I guess they've been making stuff since 2011. And because I was like, what do these people make? Because I was afraid this is probably a Chinese game, and I got a little paranoid. But they're from South America. They made like 60-some games, and none of them seem to be huge or super successful or something you would know about. But somehow this company is worth $1.3 billion and started by two brothers. And it is essentially it's a zoo, and you spawn in, and it's like League of Legends. You have abilities. What's that game? It's really famous. Reinhardt's in it.
Oh, Overwatch?
It's like Overwatch mixed with League of Legends Battle Royale. It's free. It's on your phone. Definitely go try it out. I'm loving it. It's like a simplified Dota. You know, characters have weaknesses and strengths, and there's stuff on the map. There are areas where you can walk faster if you're a certain type of animal. Some animals hide in the grass. There's a bunch of different mechanics to the game you never think about for a battle royale. Like, some characters do well late in the game. Some characters do better early in the game. They've just put a lot of work into it, and I'm enjoying it. And most mobile games, they like charge you to do anything, and it's pay to win. But I feel like they've got a really good balancing in it. And games are quick. They're like 2 minutes, anywhere from like 2 to 8 minutes. It's just cool. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I'm trying to think of some different abilities. There's a panda. Is it a panda that eats the grass? So essentially you can hide in the grass, and the panda could eat the grass, and it'll help him discover you, and then you also get health. And then there's a gecko that steals stuff. It's real kid friendly, but I'm having way too much fun with it.
Okay.
Putting in a lot of time in that. And it helps because none of my game systems are set up. So right now I'm playing games through my phone.
That's what I was about to ask you. You couldn't use the Xbox streaming and do it that way?
Don't you need Game Pass, though?
Probably. I'm not sure how it works, actually.
Well, I managed to buy Game Pass, so
Yeah.
I just got to put in the code. But I didn't want to put in the code until I start having my Xbox hooked up. So I have enough time.
Does it control well? So that's my issue with most mobile games.
Yeah, it does really well. It's designed well, and it's simple enough to where it's not like Dota, where you're like, you know, typing on your keyboard like this ability, and this, and it's designed around a phone, and I'm really enjoying it.
Okay.
You know, poop breaks whenever you're just on your phone. You just grab it, and like 2 to 6 minutes as long as these battle royale games last. And I get really pissed off at it because I feel like there's some dumb ways that I've died, or in League of Legends too, they have a jungling system where there's NPCs on the map that if you go kill them, you'll get bonuses, and they have that in there in a really neat way. It's basically like essentially the animals of the zoo have taken over, and there's guards that are trying to bring order back. But if you kill the guards, you get their weapons. It's just, I'm really enjoying it. I don't understand why this game is not blown up, because I could see it being huge. But I think it's been out for a few months.
I'll have to try it out. The way you're telling me, between being a homeowner and playing mobile games,
Oh no!
I feel like it's only a matter of time to. Yeah, I found this hot new game called Candy Crush. You gotta try it out.
I'm becoming one of those guys.
No, I'm joking. I want to like mobile games, just most of them suck.
Yeah, there's some bad ones.
I'll have to give that a try then.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know what I think of it.
Yeah.
What do you say it's called?
Zumba. I think it. How I remember it is Zoo, B-A, badass.
Okay,
Zumba.
so it's spelled like that, because I was gonna say Zumba is already a thing, so I don't know how to get away with that.
But I'm enjoying it, man. I don't get it, and there's cool little features on there. Like they have an emote system and a way to communicate too without using audio and typing. So you avoid the toxicity, but you can still communicate and talk through emotes. Like I was playing from someone from like Israel, like because I could tell because the Israeli whatever letters, and there's like people from Russia, and you're all playing together, and because of the emotes you can communicate.
Yeah. And
it's right now they only have singles, but the fact that it says singles, I'm like, maybe they'll have teams and stuff, different maps.
Did you see? I should have looked up the date, but they're finally adding multiplayer to Mario Kart, the mobile game.
Oh, the mobile.
Yeah. I feel like that's the one thing we were all excited about and didn't have it, so I feel like maybe we should jump back into that again.
Yeah, I barely played that.
Yeah, same here. But that was a reason, so that's the biggest selling point of that. So
wasn't drifting really hard in it too?
It was, but there's two different controls. I feel like we were all using the bad one when there's a better way to do it.
I think I remember you saying that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go a little out of order, talk about some corrections, and then what I've been up to and the games I've been playing, because I feel like it all kind of connects. Is there any corrections for you? Not connections, that's a correction.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I didn't really talk off wall last time as much as I normally do.
Some of mine are actually going back to other episodes, but stuff that I realized.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized last week we didn't talk about the free games. We do that every week, so I'm going to make sure I do that later in the episode. I don't know how I missed that when I literally have a guide of what we're supposed to talk about. I know you were asking about the creator of Fable. You not liking that drink?
What happens is I forget that it's cinnamon Coke, and I grab it, and then I'm like, whoa, it's like a punch of cinnamon out of nowhere. Then I also realize it says limited edition.
Yeah.
Get a limited edition Pops cinnamon.
But the creator of Fable, I'm pretty sure I said his name wrong. I knew it, but you asked me, and I was like, oh, and I just said fast. It's Peter Molyneux. I feel like I said something else, but another one, we were talking about politics, and I said Tulsi Gabbard, and it's Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi, yeah.
Yeah, these are both things I already knew. Like I said, that's one thing I need to work on when I'm talking. I'm just like, oh, God, gotta talk fast, gotta get everything out. But then I just say nonsense I already actually know, but makes it sound like I don't.
She dropped out yet?
No. I mean, she has no chance to win, unfortunately, but yeah, she officially dropped out.
Yeah.
Which sucks. She's the only one left that I would even be okay voting for.
So she was my choice, too.
Yeah. Because, I don't like Donald Trump, but I can't stand Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden either.
Yeah.
And then there is one Republican that's running, Bill Weld, but he obviously has literally zero chance. He just keeps running. But I actually like him. He was ran with Gary Johnson last time, so it sucks that there's obviously no chance for him, and most people aren't even gonna know he's running. But him and Tulsi Gabbard are the only ones left I could even vote for, and both of them will probably be out by the time it matters, anyways.
That's what I voted for was Gary.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I feel like you probably told me at the time, but I didn't remember that.
So you voted for too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so.
He lost his mind at the end, though. He lost his mind. It's Fruity Pebbles, man.
I feel like he did, but I feel like it was also unfair because I feel like he did say some crazy stuff, but I feel like people are waiting for him to say anything, so that way he can go back to the two-party system. So I feel like every other candidate said way crazier things and either got ignored or talked about, but people just still kept voting for their candidate because it's their side.
I feel bad, man. I don't even know who's running Libertarian this year.
I don't either. I've even tried to look it up, and it just shows a bunch of random people and doesn't tell you who's actually running. So it's probably not a good sign. Yeah. So I'm just going to wait and see what happens, but right now I'm probably going to write in for Ron Paul. If Tulsi Gabbard is still running, I'll vote for her. No, she has no chance. Or maybe Bill Weld. Or if none of those, I'm going to test Joe Biden's theory about even Mickey Mouse can beat Donald Trump and vote for Mickey Mouse and see if Joe Biden's right. Because I don't think he's right about it, but he's pretty confident about it. And then, another thing, we were talking about Edith Finch, and I did look it up. It was on Game Pass, and I told you that's another thing. I knew that, but I just kept talking too fast because I told you that's literally why I tried it, because somebody at work told me that. So that's on there. We were talking about what I did last week. I saw Fantasy Island. It was not good at all. Have you seen the trailers for that?
Fantasy Island.
Yeah, I think it was a 80s TV show.
Yeah, look, playing the ball. I just dyslexic really bad. What do you say? Look, boss, it's a plane.
My mom said that when I said Fantasy Island. I was like, I don't know what that means.
Really? You never watched the reruns on Nick at Night or anything?
I don't think so. But I thought it was a really cool idea, and you know how I feel about most horror movies. 99% of them suck now.
It's a horror movie?
Well, like a horror mystery. It ended up being more mystery. But I think they classified it as horror. But the trailer actually gave me hope, but it fell in the same trap of just so much dumb stuff, terrible acting. But the idea was really cool, and there were some cool moments, so it sucked that they just couldn't follow through with it and made it so generic and dumb like all these movies are now. Because they had a cool idea, but fell apart so fast.
It was related to the TV show.
It was like a reboot or something. It is based off of that, but yeah, it's not like continuation or anything. Wow. Just using the property.
You need to watch the show sometime.
Maybe if I see it, I would be like, oh yeah, I've seen this, but it didn't sound familiar.
Like I said, just because my parents are the only reason I watch reruns.
Yeah.
Of course, I wasn't alive in the 80s.
Yeah. Another thing, when I was talking about being in St. Louis, that was another thing I just skimmed over because I'm so used to doing that in natural conversation, but that's what our podcast is for, to talk about. We went to this fucking crazy place called City Museum, which probably sounds really boring, like a museum about the city. But it's this giant adult playground, which is not naughty.
I was about to say, I'd see something totally different.
And kids are allowed too, but which sounds even worse. Yeah, it's literally just this giant building that they built in the early 90s and just turned into this giant adult playground, and you just wander all through it, and it's like 6 stories, and there's just endless amounts of obstacles and these ridiculous things to swing on and climb up and slide down. Like once you get to the very top, there's a 10-story slide. And I did that.
10 stories.
It's so awesome.
I see you had to get some speed.
Yeah. When I was watching stuff before we went, I was like, oh, that sounds so great. I bet you go crazy fast. And I watched a video, and this guy was moving himself because he couldn't move because it was so tight around the corners. I was like, oh, that sucks. But I don't know if he was doing it wrong or what, because we came sliding down so fast. It was exactly what I was hoping for.
Wow.
It ended pretty fast. It didn't feel that high up because it ended that fast. But it's one of the coolest things I've ever been to. I think it's worth going to St. Louis alone just for that. But there's plenty to do in St. Louis. But if you're ever in St. Louis, you need to check it out. It's so awesome. They have I'll go ahead.
No, you're fine. It just reminds me of like Discovery or Chuck E. Cheese.
DC, yeah. They actually have a full-size ball pit, which ball pits are not a thing anymore because they're so unsanitary and disgusting and everything, which is true because I'm sure you've heard that. McDonald's, that's why they got rid of all of them.
Never washed them.
Yeah, they never cleared the balls out, so anybody that pooped or peed or anything was just at the bottom and you're playing in there. And that's kind of that's the crazy thing I realized about this place. I can't believe it exists because there's so many chances for people to get hurt and hit their heads and unsanitary. And I don't know how a place like that is still open now, but I love it. I don't have an issue with that. I'm just shocked thinking back on it that a place like that existed. Like even me being an adult and trying to be cautious, I was so excited. And I ran into this metal beam and I had a big bump here for a while. But I just kept going. It was just, I've never experienced anything like it. It kind of reminded me, I know I keep bringing it up, but I told Danielle then at the time, it reminded me of like Edith Finch in real life, which I think is another reason why I loved it. You'd just be like in this crazy looking place and then you'd climb through some hole and then it'd be like in a whole nother world in there. It was just, I don't know, it reminded me of, like you said, like DZ and those kind of places that are kids and I always still want to do as an adult, but then you're that creepy old guy that goes in there. So I think it is cool that kids are allowed in there, but I feel like it's extra cool that it's like aimed towards adults and adults are encouraged to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even like the other ones that you'd say creepy if you want to, they're just way too small.
Yeah. These, that is one thing. They're not small, designed for children, but I feel like bigger people might have a problem. Danielle got through all of them and I did, and we were climbing through all of them, but there were points I thought I was going to get stuck and I had to like push myself through.
Holy cow.
Which was amazing. But
my anxiety went through the roof.
That's actually, I told Danielle I had to work on stuff doing it because I'm claustrophobic and you know how I feel about spiders. There's literally this room.
Oh no.
Where you crawl, I didn't see any, but they had to be there. I just tried to be ignorant. You crawl through this hole and then it's literally pitch black. And the farther you crawl into it, the smaller it gets, and then you turn the corner to get out, and then the hole gets smaller. And so there's no way they're not living in there. And then also the tight spaces. But it was amazing. I feel like the closest comparison we have here in Columbus is probably like a mixture of Kosai and Otherworld. And
it's a good combo.
Yeah. And that's the one complaint I had about Otherworld. I told you I felt like it was cool, but it was more kind of, and it makes sense because it's an art place, but wasn't nearly interactive enough and like be able to do fun stuff in it. It was cool. I love it. But I feel like City Museum is exactly what I wanted out of Otherworld. And to a crazy scale, I wouldn't even have thought of the kind of stuff they have there.
Yeah.
So, if you're ever in St. Louis.
That sounds awesome, man.
Yeah. And you would have loved it. When we got in this ball pit, there was this extremely nerdy kid there. And
then you realized it was a mirror?
Probably me when I was like 12, sadly. But no, I don't think I was even this bad. This kid was, he kept throwing this ball and he kept throwing at me and random people. And 10% accuracy, 20% accuracy, 1,000% accuracy, 1,000% accuracy. And he just kept doing it.
What? He was throwing them at strangers doing that?
And then his dad was
lightning bolt. Lightning bolt.
His dad was one of those stereotypical, really nerdy, encouraging guys. Yeah, just have fun. So then I feel like it was just obvious where it came from.
It's funny, someone just knocked his son out. Just got tired of it. Lightning bolt. Oh,
1,000% accuracy. It was so great.
Accuracy. I almost said something I can't. I really have to restrain myself on this because sometimes I forget that we're even doing a podcast.
Oh, me too. Because you know how we normally talk. And then what I've been up to this week, I saw Call of the Wild, that Harrison Ford movie.
I heard it flopped.
Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not surprised. Not because it's terrible. I thought it was good. Just kind of nothing stand out. There's nothing terrible about it, but nothing that was like, oh, you got to see it. It was just really average. But I guess I'm not surprised because Harrison Ford was about the only selling point of that movie, I feel like. And I don't know how many people care about Harrison Ford enough to make like that big of a difference. But I saw that, and I tried Dreamscape, the new crazy VR.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you want me to say about it. I can give you like a rundown, but I don't know if you'd rather go in fresh.
Go in fresh.
Okay, then once you do it, we'll talk about it because
okay.
I could tell you, give you like a good review and breakdown on what I think could improve and what I think they do right. I can say you should definitely try it, and it's amazing. I think it's only in Dubai, LA, Dallas, and Columbus, which is crazy that we have one in those cities. But Yeah, so if you're in any of those cities or you can find it, you need to try it. Even doing VR, I've never done anything like that. It's exactly what they sell. Like I said, that you can do VR, but it's like next level and stuff you've never experienced before.
Mm-hmm.
But to go into it more, I don't want to spoil anything until you do it.
See, the thing that's exciting about VR is because I think to truly get that experience, it's very expensive. And you need a whole dedicated area.
Yeah.
Like with physical things. And this, if companies got behind this, it could be like a resurgence of like arcades.
Oh, yeah.
VR arcades.
Yeah.
That's awesome to think about.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have my own idea. Not that I'm going to make a difference or anything, but just like thinking about it. So once you play it, we'll go deeper into it. Have you seen Sonic yet?
No, man.
No? Okay.
It's like every free moment is like, oh, this IKEA box needs built. This sensor needs put up.
Oh, no, you're good. I'm just trying to think of stuff we said we'd talk about. But I'll just keep making a list of things like that. So once you do it, we can talk about them.
Oh, most definitely.
So I'm sure you haven't played Edith Finch then, right? Especially if you don't have Game Pass.
No.
All right, that's another thing I'll keep track of. And then what I've been playing, this is another thing I talked to you after the podcast last week. I'm pretty sure you watched it. Did I skip over what I was playing? Because I'm pretty sure I did.
I think so.
I don't know how this happens.
That was a weird episode because we almost canceled it.
Yeah.
I was getting to that point, but I think it's just best to at least have something.
Yeah. But I was playing Enslaved, more of that, and I actually beat it the night after we recorded. I stayed up till like 5 in the morning, and not just doing that because I was pretty close to beating it, but working on the editing of the podcast and everything. And I beat that game, and it's definitely worth playing. Like I said, it does a lot of stuff, especially for the time that nothing else was doing, and a lot of cool things. I feel like some of it games I've done now and kind of seems dated, but the gameplay and what it does is still worth playing alone. The ending, without spoiling it, is fucking nonsense, and I don't know what just happened, but also entertaining because it was just so ridiculous. I don't want to say, I don't know if you'll ever play it or not. I just don't want to ruin it, but it's worth playing, and the ending is just so ridiculous. I don't know if part of it is I had such a long gap, and I don't know exactly what was happening in the story, but I told you I picked up, and I was going to do that, but I watched cutscenes, and oh yeah, I remember where I'm at, so I feel like it's not that I had a long gap, it's just that it's fucking nonsense.
I'll have to try it. I have it on the 360.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me know if you play. I think you would like it a lot, especially I feel like the close similarities are like games like God of War and stuff, which I feel like you always liked. But I feel like they do a lot of things that are interesting twist on that kind of like fighting, I don't know what you call it, fighting puzzle genre. I don't know what you want to call it, action game. But I feel like they do stuff to change it up that makes it different. And I beat Left Behind, the DLC for The Last of Us, because I've been wanting to do that forever. That was another one I started and just didn't finish, but I finished that. And did you play The Last of Us at all?
No, so I had a PS3 I bought it for Mag, and that was not a good idea. Then almost left behind, but The Last of Us came out, and I bought it, and then a guy was like, "Listen, I'll give you all this money for your PS3 and that sealed copy of Last of Us." Sure. Because I think the PS4 was rumored at that point, so I was like, I want to start saving for next gen. So I took that money, because the only way he would buy it at that price is if the game remained sealed, so he could take it back and get a different new game for it. So because of that, I never played it. But is the Left Behind DLC, is that on the PS4 version?
Yeah, it's on the maybe on all of them. I was gonna say the Game of the Year version, but yeah, it might just be I think the remastered has it on there. Yeah. And doesn't live up to the quality of the original game, which obviously is kind of a high bar, but it does a good job of filling in a part of the game that wasn't explained. So it's kind of cool. It's like a bit that they didn't seem like they took out of the game, but that they added to give you context of what happened at a moment they didn't explain in the game. So it was kind of cool to have like a fill in at that spot, kind of like a flashback in Lost or something.
Cool.
So it was cool, and yeah, you should definitely play. I have the remastered version on PS4, so you get borrowed if you want.
Actually, picked it up on Black Friday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Backlog.
Yeah, that's right.
So bad.
And then I was picked up on Resistance 3. I told you last week how I got 1 and 3. And I went and looked, and I did beat 1 and 2. And I was actually 5 chapters into Resistance 3. And it's nuts. Like I said, trophies and achievements also have the feature of seeing how far along you were from playing it. And I got my last trophy in 2012.
Holy cow.
So it's been 8 years since my last trophy. So I think eventually I'll probably go back and run through all of them again. But that was another scenario where I was like, I'm not going to be able to know where I'm at or what's happening. But I started it and remembered like everything. I feel like it helps in a game like that too, where it's just first-person shooter. You don't really need to remember much of the mechanics or anything. You already are trained all that. But the story in the world is one of the coolest things, and I felt like I picked it up and wasn't confused where I was at or anything. But I love it so much that once I beat it, I think I might run through all of them again or wait and see if they ever remaster a collection of them. They do have a collection on PS3, but they haven't remastered it before. And playing it, I feel like that game is a perfect candidate for a remaster collection. The world and the gameplay, or the world and the story is so awesome, but the gameplay, or the graphics, getting so mixed up. The graphics, you can tell, are so dated, and it does not look good anymore, and kind of runs chunky at parts and has some slip-ups. But I feel like it's a perfect candidate for a remaster because of that. They could fix those kind of things. But also, I noticed that even it being 8, 9 years old or whatever, the things it was doing was so much more creative than 90% of shooters that are coming out now. And the guns and the different enemy types were so creative. I feel like that's exactly what the shooting genre needs right now. I feel like every game, there's nothing wrong with Call of Duty, and it was going for realism and like the best graphics and guns and everything. But I feel like that's what made Call of Duty stand out, is it was different than all these insane, ridiculous, unrealistic shooters. But now I feel like it's went the opposite way of every shooter trying to be realistic, that we don't have anything that's different and crazy like that. And I feel like Resistance is a perfect game to try and do that. But I feel like either a remaster collection or even better would be Resistance 4, because it could be completely unique and new with it. And I feel like Insomniac's obviously a studio that can do that. But I don't know if it'll happen or not. It makes me sad.
Sony needs something shooter-wise. I feel like they were constantly there for a while. They're making games one after another trying to beat Halo.
Oh, yeah, that's what Resistance was. Yeah, for sure.
The Killzone.
Yeah.
And Haze. I loved Haze.
Did you?
Yeah, that was a good one. Especially because I liked Korn a lot at the time, and of course they did the soundtrack for that. But yeah, I felt like for a while Sony was really trying to catch up with Halo, and it kind of flopped, and they're just done.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing any more shooters. It's not worth it.
What about gaming pickups? Have you got anything?
Yeah, I have a few things. I had bought a couple of store displays for the Xbox, the original Xbox. Like, Walmart would put the games in.
Yeah.
With a clear thing that said Xbox on it. I bought a couple of those off eBay. Let me see here. Actually, I could tell you. I could tell you all of them, because it is saved on, probably look through Marketplace. I had picked up, the worst part is I just have a terrible memory right now. Let's see, Marketplace. I picked up, so Limited Run Games, they redid Night Trap, which is from that generation of videos in video games. That was before I played video games. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Does games make sense? You ever play any of those?
I feel like I just saw them.
Mm-hmm.
But
Night Trap was probably that was a big one of it, and they re-released it for the Vita, and I wanted to buy it, but I never could, and now it's like $100 or more, the collector's edition. And a guy on Metal Jesus Rocks Facebook page put one up there for the price of retail shipped, so he actually lost money on it because he had to pay for shipping. But I picked that up. And the display things, I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's it, pickup wise. What about you?
I did get one thing. I told you I'm kind of slowing down and purposely not getting stuff, but kind of like Resistance. Do you ever hear of Lost Via Domos? The Lost video game?
No. Never heard of that.
I was really excited at the time, and I got it. And you can tell it was definitely a budget game. And I didn't beat it, and I wanted to so bad because I heard the story was actually cool. And kind of made its own story out of Lost. And the writers of Lost and everything helped with it.
Oh, Lost, the video game.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing the cover. Like, I can think of the cover. I thought you said Lost Via Dos or something like that. I thought
Lost Via Domos. That's the subtitle or whatever.
The hell? I thought you were speaking Spanish. I was like
I think it is Spanish for I know it's the way home is what Via Domos means. I think it's Spanish, but I can't remember what language.
Okay, I can think of the cover of it, like the 360 had Lost. I think it was a green cover.
Yeah, it was. And I played it at the time, and I was really excited, but I never beat it. I don't know how much of it was a budget or that I was so excited that I was let down. So I found it on Amazon for like $4. So I got it again to try and go through it and see if I still feel the same way and I'm let down, or if I am a little not as hard on it because I'm not expecting some massive thing that's going to be like the next Lost for me. Just kind of know what I'm getting into and see if I enjoy it. So that would be on its way and see how I feel about that.
Oh, so it hasn't got here yet?
No, yeah, I ordered it last night, I think.
Is it just disc form, or did you get the case too?
Or it should be in the case, yeah.
Should be in the case.
Yeah, that's how Resistance and Resistance 3 were. And they both came from Goodwill. I didn't even know that was a thing on Amazon.
Yes, it's kind of like eBay.
Yeah, okay.
So if you click on Amazon, it'll tell you where it's coming from.
Yeah.
It says Amazon Warehouse, or it'll have the account name, and Goodwill always says Goodwill. Like Goodwill of Columbus.
Yeah.
Sending this.
Okay.
So it's kind of like eBay, but returns on Amazon are a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
Because they never take the seller side on Amazon.
Yeah. Did you see on Sacred Symbols they released the physical versions of the games, but they're not limiting it to 1,000 now? It's just
wait, didn't it come out this Thursday?
Yeah, this Thursday the digital version comes out.
When does the physical ones go live? Pre-orders.
They're live now.
Right now?
Yeah, but they're there for 2 weeks. They're not going to run out.
Oh.
Yeah, they changed it to not being
I almost was like, we got to stop the podcast because I know it's not limited anymore. It's not 1,000 copies.
Yeah.
Which is, I thank God they did that. Dude, you almost just scared me because I got to get one of those because I know he said that it's over.
Yeah.
That's how strong my FOMO is. I was like, I literally just pulled up my phone to go to that Asia West or whatever the website is.
Play Asia.
Is it Play Asia?
Yeah.
They went with.
What are you gonna? Do you see the physical is $35? I mean, that's not bad. For some reason I thought it was gonna be a lot cheaper than that though.
Really?
Because I was planning on buying both of them and then getting the digital version because I don't want to wait till May to play it. But I also might want to keep those wrapped up or see if they want to sign them if we ever meet them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure if I can spend like $80 on one game and 3 versions of it. But we'll see. I might do it anyway just because I like them so much that it's kind of supporting them too, not just them buying a game. What do you think you're going to do?
I went all over the place with this. The Vita only. Both of them and then a digital. And then at one point I was like, because it's separate trophy list for each one, I was like, I'm going to buy 4 of the physicals. Open 2 of them. But I think I've settled on just 2 Vita, PS4, keep them sealed, buy the digitals.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm fine doing that is because it's for them.
Yeah.
And the game, I love the sound of the game, and the story sounds amazing, and it's short.
Yeah.
So I'm in.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm thinking about. The digital, I'm definitely going to get one of them. I won't get Vita and PS4.
Really?
Digital. Yeah, I'll just get one of them so I can play it before my physical versions get here if I do it that way.
How much is the digital?
I think maybe that's where I'm getting it from. Because I thought they said it was like $10, but maybe they're talking about the digital. And maybe that's where I got in my head to be cheaper. Because I was like, oh man, if it's $10 for physical, I'll buy like 4 of those and keep 2 of them packaged and 2 of them opened up. So I feel like that's what kind of threw me off. I'm like, man, this is going to be so much more money than I thought if I want to do all this.
So the physical is for sure You can order them up for up to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, there's not the 1,000 limit anymore.
I was like, oh God, here we go. I got to go on eBay now. Find a reseller. 4 times the amount.
Yeah, they said after that they won't be printing anymore, but I think that's why they changed it and why you don't get it till May now. Because I feel like they're doing the 2 weeks because they're going to wait, and at the end of that, tell PlayAsia how many they need to make. And that's why it's a later wait time, because it comes out this month, but you have to wait like 2 months to get your copy. I feel like that has to be the reason, because they're getting a list of how many they need to tell them to make.
Mm-hmm. Limited Run Games does it that way too.
Oh, really? Yeah,
and then there's a website that does the 1,000, and that's it. And the 1,000, and that's it. Go for way more money.
Did you listen? I think it's the newest episode when they're talking about Cowabunga.
I haven't listened to the newest one.
Oh, there's a writer that writes in and says Cowabunga.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that.
Am I fucking from another dimension? They say.
I think you misspelled it is why.
Oh, is that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because they said how they. I even went back and listened to it because I thought maybe they were mocking his spelling, but it still sounded like Cowabunga to me. And I was like,
I think he meant Cowabunga.
Huh. Okay. Because I was like, I don't fucking heard that term 1,000 times in my life. I'm like, where the fuck am I right now?
I'll be honest with you, I've heard it 1,000 times too, but if anyone said it without it like a joking way, it was never a normal kid. It was always one of those special kids that went around saying that.
Okay, so should we talk about the hot topic right now?
Sure. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Corona?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay, give me your views.
I'm
probably just being an idiot with this, but
China, it's time to catch up with the developed worlds and
don't eat bats.
That, and realize like you got to have some sort of standards when it comes to making food and having food. Like seeing some of these markets where they think this developed was disgusting. Like it's just like a flea market for hacked up animals, and I saw some clips that might have been some like butchered dogs. I don't mean to spread that stuff around, but China, it's time to realize like, okay, we got to take care of our meat. It's got to be cooled. We have to have health inspectors, things like that. Also, the death rate's like 93%, and everybody that's dying from it is they had something wrong with them beforehand, and their immune system's compromised. And from what I can tell, it's right on par with the regular flu.
Yeah.
Death-wise. But these companies, media companies and news companies, they make a lot of money off of people like... I work with a couple of people where they go in and they're like, you see this coronavirus stuff? And they're freaking out, and the TV's on, hand sanitizer pumps out. Then my job is teaching us how to deal with people. If these people are not approved, you need to ask them, when's the last time you've been out of the country? Have you been out of the country within the last 2 weeks? I'm like, what do I do when they say yes? And they're like,
fucking burn them.
We'll call the people they're supposed to see. And then what do I tell them? Hey, this person was in China 2 weeks ago. This is getting so ridiculous. I was on Pluto TV, that thing.
Mm-hmm.
They had an advertisement on there for like a section for coronavirus. What? Everybody's like, check, like, anything big happens, they're just ready to make a channel or get some clicks for.
Yeah.
Because the only people who are dying are people in nursing homes, and at least in the developed world. I don't know what China's doing. I stopped paying attention to them. Gives me so much anxiety thinking about China. The world just lets it happen.
I feel similar to a lot of those things. I feel like it obviously is an issue, but not the issue it's being made out to be. And that was one of the main things I was going to say, is that the people who are dying are the people that, not to be too dark, but probably don't have a great chance of living to begin with. And also that it has been contained for the most part, and people are, well, now it's in the U.S., and it's in Washington State, and we're in Columbus, Ohio, so it's about as far as what it could be and still be in the...
Californian happened today, too?
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear that, but somebody told me Ohio happened today, and I was like, that's not true. Like, no, I saw it on the news, and it's not true. And I looked it up, and there's nothing in Ohio.
I guess Renee said there was a guy at the hospital that was showing signs, and they were freaking out. They tested him, he didn't have it.
Yeah, and I feel like I said, not to undermine it, because it could always turn into a way bigger thing, but right now it's not. And I feel like the biggest issue right now is that people are making a bigger issue out of it, and people are literally fucking losing their minds over it, to a point where we're canceling the Arnold Classic, which not even just like Columbus thing, that's the biggest bodybuilding event in the world, and we can't have that here now, and the city and the state's going to lose like $50 million from not having it there, and all these people that have their traveling plans set for years are going to be coming here. People coming from all over the world for it, and there's people already in town for it. One of my friends his dad would have people come over, and they'd be there for like a week and a half ahead of time. So I'm sure there's all kind of people here ready for that, and they're all going to just have to miss out on it now. And all the vendors and everything, all these people are losing everything. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do it here again because of all this nonsense. Did you hear it's to the point that the officer canceled the expo, but they just want to be able to do the events and have spectators there? But they said they still don't know if they can do that.
For the finals, right?
Yeah, well, they said they could do the finals, but they want to have people at all the events, just not the expo, because that's where the 250,000 people come from. But the events have like a few thousand people at them, but they're still not allowed to do that, even though we have sporting events here that has 20,000 people daily, and nothing happens, but we continue to do those, and that's the point they're bringing up too, and that's still being questioned if that can even happen.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying that everything gets so political, and you have to pick your side, because the reason that's happening is because Mike DeWine, the governor here, decided that, and I voted for him, and I like him, but I can go, yeah, that's fucking idiotic, and I still like him, but that decision's dumb. But then we haven't had a travel ban on China, and you're allowed to come to and from there where the source is, and be like, yeah, well, see, Donald Trump's an idiot, which I do think that's a logical one that you could stop that. There's no reason we need to do that to be able to have travel back and forth to China right now. You could easily shut that down, but people say he's an idiot, but then they play the other card and say Mike DeWine's an idiot because they're both Republicans, but if they think Donald Trump's an idiot for doing that, then wouldn't Mike DeWine be smart for doing that? Like I said, I don't like Donald Trump, but I like Mike DeWine, but I feel like both of them are dumb. And like, not they're dumb, but those stances are dumb. That I just don't get how you play both sides of that.
Yeah, I like Mike DeWine too. I voted for him as well. But yeah, I could see both sides. He's probably trying to protect himself if there was an outbreak or something. Who knows? But I doubt it. It always seems like there's something going on. Like a few years ago was Ebola. When I was a kid, I remember everyone was afraid of opening their mail because of anthrax. What else? E. coli was in the kids' meals or something. And then you had the swine flu when I was in high school. There was something else too when I was a kid. Oh, the bird flu.
Yeah.
There's something all the time, but I've never seen it to the point to where they cancel stuff.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell it's going to stop, or if we're just not going to have people at sporting events anymore. And
the March Madness is coming up.
Yeah, and it's the Ohio State game. That's 100,000 people every Saturday. Are they just not going to be there anymore? You can stop one event, but then where are you going to stopping everything? I don't know. Like I said, I feel like the biggest issue right now is that people are making a big issue out of it instead of just maybe taking the precautions, but being realistic about what could happen. I feel like the most annoying thing has to be a doctor right now. I can't imagine how many fucking people have a cough and go in. Well, I have it, and I know you. Corona. And you can see that by how people act when people cough or sneeze. You can see people's reactions now, and it's so ridiculous.
I mean, we can bring up the figures. This is for people out there that's listening to this and for some reason are paranoid about corona. You can bring up the figures for heart disease, car accidents, cancer, suicide. Because the same thing happens with like assault rifles. People are like, oh my gosh, all these people died. There's like 2% of deaths by guns are from rifles, and that includes all rifles and suicides. And then assault rifles would be even less than that. It's because it's scary, it's pandered to you. But something you could actively avoid is heart disease. So eat some salads and lose some weight and be concerned about that and not...
That doesn't sound worth it, I gotta be honest.
They're worried about some funky bat flu from China that's only killing... Okay, listen. This is how you could be nervous about coronavirus. If you're dying in 5 years and you get the coronavirus, then you can be worried about the coronavirus. But if you're healthy and normal, you're fine. You're gonna be okay.
That's what I don't know if I really said that. That's what every case in Washington State was, an older person or somebody that was not stable condition or medically, I should say. So if all these people go into Arnold Classic, those are probably the exact people that would never have that. They're the most fit people in the world and have perfect health, and past the point of perfect health, it's unnatural that they're so healthy. And so I feel like that's people you need to worry about the least.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, my stomach.
Little stomach noise.
Hope it comes through on the mic.
Be hot.
Well, I feel like this is a good natural segue to a fake outrage. What do you think?
It sounds good.
I already got mine. I don't know if you want to go first. If you don't have one thought of, I could tell you mine. Give you a few minutes.
Okay, I think I got one.
Okay.
So, when you're outraged by something and you decide in your mind as a collective group that you can start to change the English language or avoid certain phrases or words, because I don't even know where I'm going with this, but when you think, because you said, I gotta be careful here.
And let me help you there too, because I feel like this is actual outrage, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to see this. What I'm trying to bring it back to a joke, but I'm just
because I agree. I'm not saying like, oh, don't do that. I'm saying these gotta be nonsense things. Because
when see, I'm trying to make it nonsense and this is so dumb. Listen to me right now.
Okay.
If you're listening to this and you're easily offended, you need to stop. Stop yourself. You need to look inwards. Are you getting offended because you're actually offended, or you're getting offended because you think that other people are going to be like, wow, he's so brave. He got offended for that one group because he said a word. Then you probably should stop. Just stop it. You go ahead. You tell yours first because I'm rambling.
Okay. So
okay, it's still recording. I was kind of hoping it stopped recording just so I could redo that whole part of my life over again. But it's still recording, so we're just going to go with it.
I was actually terrified that it wasn't recording because I feel like we've been going for a while. I thought about that a minute ago. I was like, oh no, we haven't even checked.
I wish it wasn't. So
I feel like mine's a lot more serious and impactful. Sorry, I didn't mean to diminish yours. So this past weekend, I realized already that I left something out of what I've been doing. About to circle back. I was at the Ohio State-Michigan basketball game, and we had to get the nosebleed seats. We were up in the upper bowl, and I was fine with that. I was having a great time until the arena decided to play the classic song Up in Here by DMX. You know that jam?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I just felt kind of discriminated and felt like they were making fun of my wealth and what I could afford. And
oh, because you're up in here.
Yeah, and it just kind of hurt my feelings because I thought I was having a good time and I didn't think there was anything wrong with being up in there, and I thought we were enjoying ourselves. And then kind of all my happiness was sucked away there. And I mean, I could have afforded more expensive tickets. I just wanted to be there and didn't want to choose to spend that much. And then I get made fun of for being there and being conservative and not wanting to spend $100 on seats to get a little bit closer and not be up in there.
I don't think I could top that. Last week I just thought of one on the spot. If you want to keep going for a second, I think I could think of one.
Okay. Yeah, that one came to me naturally, and that's why I said I want to try and think of those. Sometimes I'll force it if I have to, but if we just don't have one, we don't have to say it. But I was sitting there, and I was like, I fucking care less, and it was a good time. But that played, and I was like, man, I could see somebody this turn into a news story and them suing Ohio State University and being some major thing because of how dumb people are, and that's why fake outrage is the best.
That is fantastic. I might interrupt the show later if I think of one.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. I tried to stay as serious as I could, but I saw you cracking. I was like, damn, I can't do it anymore.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. They just need to be sensitive to the people that's up in there.
But yeah, that was another thing I did this weekend. I did a sports trifecta.
I saw.
Yeah, and I went to the Columbus Crew game, Ohio State Michigan basketball, and then the Blue Jackets game. All three of them were wins.
W's.
Yeah, and it was perfect weather. It was over 50 degrees and sunny, and it was beautiful. Every game had at least 17,000 people there, so all of them were close to sellouts. For some reason, we can't support an NFL team, even though we have 3 different sporting events have the amount of an NFL game, and do that easily, and all within an hour of each other. But yeah, it was a great time. And did you see the Blue Jackets game? How they won?
It was. They were down 1-3.
Yeah, 3-1 with only 5 minutes left in the third, and won 5-3. So they got 4 unanswered goals in under 5 minutes.
Bam.
It was fucking great, and it was kind of role reversal. There was thousands of people left. I was depressed, and I don't know when people are going to learn their lesson. The Blue Jackets have came back so many times that I get a lot of teams don't do that. But Peter was with us, and we need to leave. They're not coming back. And Ryan was like, oh, they're coming back. And I was like, this is, yeah. Do you remember almost the exact scenario?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's not happening. And it was great. And unfortunately, a couple thousand people left. There was still left a shitload of people, but I was just sad. No one people were going to miss a comeback. And it was Carrot's first game in a long time. So it was like his first game pretty much, and it was Peter's first game. And it was just kind of like the game we went to. It couldn't be a better first game than that. It was fantastic.
That's good, buddy. Especially because of the 3 W's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's happening in overtime all season?
Like I said, I feel like it's just the inexperience of playing I don't know how they're fucking staying in a playoff spot with the minor league team they're playing with. They literally.
Injuries.
Yeah. Have you heard how many it is? They're up to 390 games missed between their players, and there's only 82 games in a season. So, yeah, I know people say you can't say injuries are an excuse, but that's to a different fucking level that you can definitely use that as an excuse, and the fact that they're even staying in a playoff spot. John Tortorella should be coach of the year. It's ridiculous that they're even doing that. And then dumbass Blue Jays fans are talking about how he needs to be fired because they know nothing about hockey. And
who is saying that?
A lot of people are. You can find it real easy because now it's done the reverse of cycling back to like Ohio State of everybody expecting. They're not used to losing anymore, so if they're not the top team in the league, then they're trash. But you need to remember where it was and also the logic of that's impressive they're even staying close to where they're at now.
Let's see. We're getting up on 5 years since I've been watching.
Yeah, probably.
And they were a trash fire then.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 3 years of being a decent team.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they need to chill out.
Oh, I get it.
Chiller. Did you see they were thinking about doing 90s themes for all the hockey teams? And people were like, well, the Blue Jackets and these teams have been here for a while. So some guy on Reddit did a really good job for their 90s jerseys. He went with the chiller.
Like the chill. Yeah.
The chiller. How would you say it? The chills design.
Oh, yeah.
I'd made them for the Blue Jackets.
Oh, that sounds like it'd be cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'd buy a jersey.
Yeah, I would too.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Hockey's fun, and I feel like if we were healthy this year.
Oh, I know. That's the worst part.
Ooh. Because you took half of the OTL, the overtime losses. You took half of those and gave them to us. I think I forgot. It's been a while since I've done it, but we'd pretty much be at the top of the.
Oh yeah.
The rankings.
It also sucks the division we're in. I don't know if you looked the West, which the Blue Jackets used to be in, and it didn't make any sense that they were there. So I see why the NHL moved them. But if we were there, we would be second place in one of the divisions right now.
Wow.
And also probably a lot higher than that because we'd be playing against these teams that are not nearly as good, so they'd probably be fucking dominating and be way ahead.
Dang.
Like I said, I can't blame the NHL. It made no sense we were in the West. That's just what they did at the time, so it does make sense for us to be in the East. It just sucks that we are because we'd be so much better if we weren't. Because it's just kind of stackpiled right now in the East.
I found out something cool, man.
What's that?
Renee's parents, my girlfriend, her parents are big Blue Jackets fans. They have a massive collection of signed stuff, like rookie stuff, and this whole like wall decorated in it, like your boy Rick.
Yeah,
got a bunch of his signature
not
stuff.
my boy though.
They told us today when they move that we can have it all.
Oh really?
Yeah, because they have to move to a condo, so they got to downsize a lot.
Nice.
And I was like, we will definitely do that. We will definitely take those.
Yeah.
And that's not even all of it. They have still a bunch in storage.
Yeah.
Because when you get season tickets, they give you a bunch of gifts. And they would buy stuff and win raffles. And yeah, man, hockey's fun. If you're listening to this and you're not paying attention to hockey, then what are you doing? It's good stuff.
Yeah. When you're right, you're right. Should we do our movies?
Let's do it. Do you want to explain it?
Yeah.
Since Ryan didn't listen to the last episode, he doesn't know what we're doing.
So we're doing our top 5 video games we want turned into movies or we think could work as movies, even though maybe they won't be our favorite. We think they would fit well either way. However, both of us did it. And I don't know about you, but I have a bunch of honorable mentions too because I was narrowing it down. And if you want, I don't know how you did yours. We can do like a lot of podcasts do and start at 5 and go back and forth. Like I'll say my 5th, you say your 5th, and so on.
Let's do that. I like that.
You want to go first or you want me to?
You go first because I don't know what my notes are doing here right now.
Okay. So my 5th one, I made these right after we talked. So I don't know if you saw the news today, but I made this at the time, so it happened before that, is The Last of Us. Did you see it's being made into a TV show? CNET reported today.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, and they're the ones that have been behind Uncharted. Some obviously it's the same developer, but they're the ones that have been like all about it. So I think it is gonna happen. It's gonna be on HBO, which I feel like is fucking perfect for it because they can. And that's what I was gonna say. I should have specified that when I was talking about the rules, and I didn't last time when I was talking to you. But I feel like it should be like media, not really. It doesn't have to be movies, and I was going to specify which ones I thought would work better as shows, and this was actually one of them that I thought. I was going to say I'd be okay with the movie, but I feel like a show would work a lot better because without spoiling it, the game goes across the U.S., so I feel like it'd be really cool to like go to different parts of the U.S. in each episode until you get to the end point of the game. So I feel like the fact that they are making a TV show is fucking awesome and preferred over a movie.
For sure, man, because that was one of the, like I kind of made a preface to my list, was that everyone says it, but video games would probably be best to be worked as TV shows because the development of characters, it just works better. And especially, it's funny, you remember I had made my own list, and then I made a list that I expected you to do.
Oh, so you were guessing mine is what you're saying?
Guessing,
oh, okay. I thought you meant like a secondary in case others line up is what you're saying?
Oh, no. I was trying to guess yours.
Oh, okay.
And my number 5 for you was The Last of Us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really weird. I almost deleted it because, like I said, I made this list before I saw that news, and I read that literally today. I was like, are you kidding me? But obviously that's a good thing because that's what I was hoping for.
And I'm glad you specified that we could use TV shows because a couple of my options in here I was like would work best as a TV show versus a movie. So let me do my number 5 then.
Okay.
See, I kind of was going back and forth on 2 of them, so I'm still like trying to figure it out here. Okay, we'll do. Okay, I finalized it now. Destroy All Humans. I would do that as a movie. Pixar would be perfect, but we do a funny like gore 1950s parody. Like an animated, trying to think of some of their alien movies they've done. But, yeah, that would be my number 5 pick.
You think you could do Pixar and be gory and be like that, though?
Okay, sorry. Let me specify. Pixar style.
Oh, okay.
Like
it
looks
sound
real,
like that, but they never go for it.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really. We don't have to break down everything if we don't know, but we can talk about what actors we think we would like in certain things if we have it, or styles or whatever. I just don't know who I'd want to be on Last of Us. I feel like Ellen Page is obviously perfect choice for Ellie, the girl in it. Because I don't know if you know, she literally sued them because she's the likeness, and it is. So it never happened because she sued them, but it is. She sued them for fair reasons because I don't know how they didn't design.
She's also doing a video game at the same time, too.
So it does look just like her, so I feel like her. I don't know who I'd cast as Joel. I've seen a lot of things that I thought were good, but I don't know what I would land on. And I do feel like that. I'm not trying to ignore yours. I just realized I didn't really talk about mine.
No, you're fine.
But I feel like the style of that fits it so perfect, and I feel like HBO is a perfect choice because that game can get real graphic and real hard to watch at times, and I feel like that's a perfect scenario for that. But Destroy All Humans, I would have never thought of that one, but if they could do it like that, I think that'd be really entertaining.
Or like an Adult Swim style.
Yeah.
My mind went to, you ever watch Paul?
Oh, yeah.
That's where my mind kind of went to. Was maybe one of the aliens was like, do you remember the movie Home?
The purple alien?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can I come into the out now?
What's that?
Can I come into the out now?
Yeah, that movie.
I didn't think you knew that. That you were just going to keep looking at me.
So, but my mind kind of went there. It was like maybe one of the aliens was just like, what are we doing? And try to help the humans or something. So that was my number 5.
Okay. My next one is Resistance. I feel like, again, it has the I would be okay with the movie, but I think the show would be preferred because it even more so travels across the United States. And I don't know if you play Resistance. It's a
first one.
Oh, did you? So it's like alternate history of like the 50s United States.
Yeah.
So like a lot of landmarks are there, but they take their own omissions and like add stuff or take stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it'd be really cool to see that. And the show, I feel like, would work perfectly to travel through the U.S. and back and go to different time periods and figure out what's happening. And then, kind of like I talked about the game, there's just so much creativity there. The weapons, I feel like, maybe wouldn't come across as much in a show because I don't know if you'd be able to tell what's happening if it's just a gun. But the creative guns on there, if they do it right, could be really cool. But even if not, the whole alternate history in the 50s and the Chimera coming in is just so fucking cool. And there's similar things, but I feel like there's so many unique things about it that'd be super interesting.
Yeah, just the whole premise of it almost had like underlying political, like anti-isolationist view, because everybody would slowly get into war with them and kind of ignore them. Hope it'd go away. This is the reason the world kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
And they based it around that real meteor that fell in the Soviet Union.
Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Russia at the time, I can't remember.
Yeah, you can find journals and notes and stuff about that in the game, and people talking about what they think is happening and whatnot.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so much you could fill in there that games sometimes have a hard time doing, so you do just have to find random journals and audio logs and stuff that most people can skip over or don't really fill in a story well unless you like doing that kind of stuff.
I could see that.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
What about you? What's your number 4? Oh, wait. Did you guess my 4? Or do you not want to say?
I don't want to say it because you didn't say it.
Might say later. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because it's got to come up. There's a couple in here. It was just easy for you.
I'm sure you know 2 of mine for sure.
Yeah. My number 4 was kind of under the same line, Pixar style animated film, Beautiful Joe.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't guess. I was going to say, I wish I thought of doing the 5 guesses, but I wouldn't guess either of these so far anyways.
Like a stylized movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like those would do best as movies. You don't need some developed storyline.
Yeah, that's part of what I was going to get to with some of mine. I do feel like shows in general work better, but I think there's definitely games that shouldn't be shows and deserve to have like the big over-the-top movie release and get attention like that. Also, who would play the alien and Destroy All Humans? I was thinking Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Oh my gosh. See, because of Paul, I thought of Seth Rogen, but Gilbert Gottfried would be perfect.
Yeah, I feel like I don't remember Destroy Humans that much because I didn't play a whole lot. But I feel like I remember his voice, or I at least picture it being like whiny and annoying, not like relaxed and calm like Paul's was.
Yeah.
Or Seth Rogen, whatever.
There was another one I played around with the idea of.
Uh-huh.
But there was just so many along this vein, especially with Destroy All Humans, was I would love a live-action Stubbs the Zombie. Just be so comedic and dumb.
Uh-huh.
Like his arm falls off and just weird stuff like that.
Yeah. I can see that.
My mind went to, what was the Eddie Murphy vampire movie?
Not sure.
But there's a scene where one of the guys keeps falling apart in the subway. I kind of thought that'd be funny, like as a zombie trying to live in the modern life and spread the zombie infection. I need to look that up though. Eddie Murphy vampire movie. I think it's come out in the 80s. Oh yeah, Vampire in Brooklyn, 95.
Oh yeah.
That was a movie I watched a bunch as a kid.
Okay.
But there's a scene where one of the characters keeps falling apart, I believe, in a subway, and that's why it's like that a live action Stubbs the Zombie would be great.
Yeah.
But that was a runner up for me.
Okay. My number 3 is Alan Wake. I feel like Microsoft's already, Remedy, whoever you want to put the blame on, has already abandoned it when it could be such a cool ongoing gaming franchise. I feel like the only downside, to me it wouldn't be, but I feel like a lot of people just say it's Twin Peaks ripoff. But I feel like they obviously were inspired by that, so I don't think it's a ripoff when you admit that you're fans of that and try and make something like it. And I don't think it's a complete ripoff. I think they do that style, but they add so much that is their own. Mm-hmm. And the world is so cool, and the mystery and everything that happens in that game is just set up so perfect to be I think it would work as a movie, but better as a show in that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like it'd be such a cool property to keep going. And I don't know if you remember, they were going to do a movie and they got put away, like when they were doing the, because that was when they were trying to talk about like Xbox TV and all that, but now it's going to be a part of it and they abandoned it, which is sad.
I mean, that was a weird time for Xbox, man.
Yeah.
A bad time.
Yeah.
Die-hard Xbox fan. I jumped ship, went to PS4 because of that time period. That was weird. You want me to go then?
Yep. What's your 3?
Number 3 would be a TV show. Mass Effect, but like Star Trek.
That was one of my honorable mentions on here.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
I had it as your number 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I chose it as your number 1.
Huh.
But you know how each episode is like a different alien race or different mystery? Thought that'd be perfect for Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you said, Mass Effect was basically Star Trek. But I feel like it'd be way cooler.
Oh, I think it definitely would. And you get some of that sweet romance and put it on HBO.
Oh, yeah, man.
That I'm half joking, but that obviously get a lot more eyes on it, especially for people that don't care about it, and get people to watch it.
Yep.
And the games didn't shy away from trying to use it as a selling point, so it would line up with the game too. It wouldn't seem out of nowhere. So yeah, I can get behind that, which is a bad term for what I just said. I'm surprised. I don't know what your other 2 are, because these 2 I thought would be the for sure. My number 2 is BioShock, because I've said it before, but that's one of the coolest, most unique worlds I've ever seen. And what are you smirking about?
That was my number 4 for you.
Oh, was it?
Or number 3.
Okay. And I feel like that story, like I said, is relegated to games because so many people don't play games and ignore it. But if it was in books or movies or anything, it'd be talked about like Schindler's List or something that's like the Holy Grail and it's so crazy. But since so many people don't get to experience it, it just gets ignored. And that's like a game I don't think should be a show, I think. It could work as a show in a different way without spoiling something. But I don't want to say that and ruin some of the games you haven't played. But I feel like that first game and just keep into that will work so well as a movie. And would get people to experience something they couldn't, and maybe get some people to play the game too, but not get people to experience the story that so many people are going to ignore and never get experience.
Yeah.
Which sucks because it's so good.
Yeah, the only thing that worries me is like character development.
Yeah.
Slow build was a big part of that. And sometimes movies gloss over that stuff to fit into that time frame.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it'd have to be done right, but if it did, I feel like it would be. I feel like this term means nothing now, but I feel like it'd be like an actual masterpiece, not just how people use that to say something's good. I feel like it would literally be like a masterpiece kind of movie.
Oh. I feel like I know your number one.
Yeah, I feel like you have to.
So my number two, what do you think my number two is?
I wouldn't have guessed any of these so far, so
it's a game series I know you don't like.
Oh, mine wasn't going to be then. Red Dead.
Oh, so close.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto.
Yep, number two is Grand Theft Auto. But I would like to see it somewhere along the lines of like in a perfect world, Quentin Tarantino would direct it. Because I feel like he's been making that movie 100 times over.
Yeah.
But even like a TV show like Sopranos, Sons of Anarchy, I feel like those are all, because if you read like books on GTA or the source of them were crime movies, so it already feels like a crime movie. So I feel like it'd be easy to convert. Do you want to do our honorable mentions now before we do number ones?
Yeah, we can do that.
Go for it.
I got a shitload, so I don't know if I'll read all of them. But some I'm also not sure about, or some I think could work, but in different ways. Gears of War is one they've always talked about. I think if they did it right, it could be cool. But I can see it going real cheesy and real bad, real fast. So I feel it'd have to, yeah. So that one, you know, I love the series and think it's cool. I don't know, and the setup of the game is actually cool, but they make it the story so nonsensical and silly with all the nonsense that I don't know how that would go. Costume Quest. I don't know if you ever played that.
A little bit.
Double Fine game.
I know you always bug me to play it.
Yeah.
It a lot.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a really cute, like Pixar kind of movie like that. I don't think it'd be anything grand or anything. I just feel like it'd be a really cool movie, especially if they did like a Halloween kind of movie, since that's obviously what it is. Little Big Planet the same way, especially if that was Pixar, they could fucking knock it out of the park, and Sackboy would be only cuter if they did that. Heavy Rain, I feel would be a really interesting movie. I don't think it'd be that unique. I feel like there've been a lot of movies like that, but I feel like the story is cool and they could do something with it.
The Origami Killer.
Yeah, Origami. I'm sure you've seen those, right?
Origami. Yeah, I think you showed me that.
Oh, did I? Jason. Here's a few, well, a mix up. Some of these were ones of contenders for the actual list. Dead Space. I think, yeah, I think it'd be a fucking awesome movie. And there is sci-fi movies like that and stuff that's been done like that. But I feel like they're few and far between now that you get really good ones and really graphic ones like that, and ones aren't afraid to show shit. And that game was hid nothing and was actually genuinely creepy. So I think that one could work. I feel like this one had to be more kiddish, like Pixar or something too. Plants vs. Zombies, I could see them doing something cute and funny. Fallout, I feel like would be something that's kind of overdone now, but at the time, I don't feel like many people were doing it. Fallout 3 came out, and that's what I would base off as Fallout 3. I feel like that could be probably a better show, I feel like, because the game's so massive. But also, maybe a movie could work because the game's massive, but 90% of what's happening doesn't matter if you're watching the story, so it could be condensed a lot. Let me know if I'm going too much.
No, you're
fine. I still
fine.
got like 10 more, so. I just keep using these terms because you said it, but I was thinking of how to describe it. Did you ever play Cameo, the Rare game?
No.
I feel like that game was so unique and so charming and different that I feel like I would not want a serious, like, over-the-top, crazy style with it, but I feel like those kind of movies like Pixar or something could fucking destroy that kind of movie. Very different, but Fear. Have you played Fear?
Oh, yeah, I played all those. Those are good stuff.
I love that, and I feel like that would work really good as a movie and be genuinely scary, unlike 90% of horror movies, and the mystery of what she is and everything would be so cool.
What was her name again? Anna?
Elma, I think?
Yeah, I think that's
I almost said Elmo.
Elmo. That'd make it 10 times better.
Now this one would be fucking awesome if they did it right. I'm picturing like Pixar style art, but like South Park humor and writing. Conquer's Bad Fur Day. I feel like would be so fucking awesome in that way. That'd probably be like an HBO or Netflix kind of show. But another one that wasn't even that good of a, well, I haven't played myself, but Naughty Bear, I feel like would be such a creative idea and be very funny but very dark at the same time. And I can't think of anything I've seen like that in a movie form or show form. I think it'd be fucking hilarious. Mass Effect, we already went over that. Did you ever play Shadowrun? I know it's another game I brought up to you a lot on the 360.
Metroidvania?
No, it was a first-person shooter. It's kind of like...
with the trolls and the trees.
Yeah, kind of like an early Overwatch. I feel like you could do something really cool with that and the style of that game and kind of like the...
kind of like Bright.
Yeah, kind of like Bright, but steampunk and like the twist of elves, and you could make that such a weird, cool movie or show. Dead Island, which I know zombies are overdone. There's plenty of zombies, but for one, I'm not sick of zombies like everybody. And if they did it, I like the games, but do you remember the first teaser trailer for that game? That's what I picture. I like those games, but that trailer has stuck with me more than those fucking games. That was one of the best trailers I've ever seen.
Yeah. I
was like, oh man, this is going to be impactful and so deep and cool and kind of have a twist to zombies instead of, I like it, just killing zombies. I was like, this is going to be so much more. And then it was just straight up killing zombies and no story at all. But I feel like if you did it in the form of that trailer, it'd be fucking awesome.
Most
and
definitely.
Could change up the zombie formula of just everything being identical. Which segues terribly into my next one of Dead Rising, because it would literally just be nothing but killing zombies. But I do feel like it could be different as far as the ways you can kill them, the crazy fucking weapons they come up with. I feel like that could be fun, just seeing zombies get destroyed with all these unique weapons that you've never seen before.
No, I know it's low quality, but didn't Crackle make a few movies for...
Oh yeah, they did. I forgot about that. So I
never watched.
I heard they were horrendous, but yeah, I even forgot those existed. So I'll have to watch those and see. I'll report back.
Clearly, that's not what you would want to have in the series.
And then the last one, I actually didn't almost think about it all, but I feel like Titanfall could be really fucking cool as a movie. And like those giant mechs and titans falling from the sky, but like the war going on at the same time. I feel like you do something really interesting with that.
For sure.
And there's, unfortunately, like, besides Titanfall 2, there's no fucking story in that game. And even Titanfall 2, the campaign's fun, but I couldn't really tell you anything that was happening in it or remember anything. And I feel like that game could be a really fucking cool movie.
And with, at this point, though, they'd probably have to make it, their Battle Royale.
Oh, Apex.
Apex is probably more popular than Titanfall.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I like Apex, but yeah, I feel like Titanfall is way cooler and more unique. But yeah, that's definitely more popular now.
For sure.
All right, that was all my honorable mentions, all 5 of them.
All right, I'll do mine then. Let's see. Well, Last of Us that you mentioned, BioShock that you mentioned. I did put this on my list. I'll skip over that one. Fallout, like yours. I also picked Gears. Probably my biggest honorable mention was probably Metal Gear. And the only reason I put it on honorable mention, not on the list, is I really didn't play those games. So I feel like I don't know. But it'd be cool to be like an 80s action style. And the games already seem to be movies themselves, and they're so ridiculous and over the top. And I know that he has nothing to do with it anymore, but with Konami kicking him out. But he's already said he wanted to make movies, was Kojima.
Yeah.
So I felt like that'd be perfect. He'd be the director. But they pretty much kicked him out. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all my honorable mentions.
Okay, so you narrowed down a lot more than I did.
What helped the two that we've mentioned some of these, and you've already mentioned some in your honorable mention?
So you said you guessed my number one.
Mm-hmm.
So did you guess
Madden?
No. I thought about doing that, but it's a serious one. Insomniac Spider-Man.
Are you messing with me?
Yeah, I'm messing with you. That's a fucking movie like 10 times over.
Like if this... What?
No, of course it's Halo. I'm sure you guessed that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know they're making a Showtime show, and I feel like that actually has a lot of potential. But I feel like Halo is one of those games I think deserves a movie, and it's obviously past the time now and should have already happened. But I feel like that game could have fucking changed movies and, movie games forever and been a massive thing. And I think a show works well for maybe side stories or like Reach or ODST to fill in these moments. But I feel like the mainline Master Chief story deserves to be a movie, and or maybe movies to tell all of them. But I feel like something that grand deserves like a epic kind of movie and a whole like production behind it, not just some show that's kind of on the side.
For sure.
But like I said, I do think that could help to fill in either new plot lines they haven't told or side stories that they don't need a movie for. But I really feel like the first one should have been a Halo movie. But I have hope in the Showtime show, which sounds really weird. And I feel like that one has been talked about forever that I worry, but I'm sure you've seen they have like the cast photos and like production and everything, so it is happening. So that actually gives me more hope that not that it's just been going forever, but it's going forever and they're actually taking their time with it, not just shitting it out because Halo is hot right now, or not really anymore, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not doing it just to try and make money, which obviously that's the end goal, but they're obviously taking their time to see if they can make it right, which I'm hoping they can.
Only thing that scares me is Showtime. It seemed like is the budget. Like if this was HBO, I'd feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Showtime's lacking in production, quality, workers, and that HBO could definitely pay a lot more for.
Yeah, I would. If I could pick, I'd pick HBO, but I think Showtime can still do it, and I feel like that's maybe why they picked Halo, because they know they need the next big thing. Like they had Dexter rely on forever, and Dexter had everything you needed in it. So I feel like if they do it right, it could actually help them out.
Most definitely.
What's your number one?
I don't think you'd ever guess this one in a million years. I'm gonna say it, and it's not a joke. I swear.
Okay.
Tetris. I swear it's not a joke. It's my number one.
What would the plot be?
Okay, so there's a lot of TV shows, especially Console Wars coming out soon, TV show, and then you had Halt Catch Fire, I think was the name of that shit, that the IBM kind of story. So it would be based on the history of Tetris, kind of a biopic TV show, because essentially it was this guy had made the game in the Soviet Union to test AI. So it'd be about the Soviet Union and this guy living there to create the Tetris. And he couldn't create a profit off of course, because it's communist, Soviet Union. So the Soviet Union stole the license for 10 years. The creator didn't see any money till the mid-90s, and that was after Tetris was massive.
Yeah.
And it would like to be nice to go into every like variation and knockoff, like Sega's Columns and all the variations throughout the years. Maybe even do like a documentary on this stuff. Maybe try to go down into Russia to track down some of like the original builds, or if you don't want to make a biopic and do a documentary style. In the process of trying to get it released in the United States, because I'm sure that was a hassle. Like, we're not selling anything from the Soviet Union over here. Just to see how Tetris is still holding up. Maybe some of the fans. If you're doing the documentary style, go around and talk to some of the fans that are there from the beginning. Just the process of how it escaped the USSR. Like, how did the USSR realize this was a product and not a test for AI? Because even if you look at some of the original artwork for Tetris, it's got the It's not the Kremlin. It's the cathedral on the front cover.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting to me, and just to see like where the money for Tetris went if he wasn't collecting it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like, because essentially he made it, and then they were like, listen, you can release this, make a lot of money, and he kind of was like, I'm going to secretly do it, but then he's like, Soviet Union's just going to stomp me out. So just that whole process would be cool.
No, it was just me. I was making a noise. That's why I looked at you with that. No, I could see that, and I would be interested in that. That's just why I thought you were joking, because to that point we were just talking about like adaptations of movies, not like side things. I don't have a problem with you doing that, but I'm just saying that's why I didn't think about it, because if I picture it, somebody like a Tetris movie and just blocks falling, but there's no fucking way I'm watching that.
Well, it'd be cool too to see documentaries, because it's not a specific game, so I couldn't mention these either, so they're kind of more like an honorable mention. Was China had banned consoles for like 10 years or something crazy. So it'd be cool to see that scene of gamers, especially because they restrict a lot of the kids. Or North Korea is real restrictive on video games. It'd be cool to go and figure out what they're doing for video games, because essentially they don't have any.
Yeah.
Besides what probably gets pushed in through the black market. But you'll never get camera crews in there for regular people.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Just because I feel like we're constantly, we know what gaming's like in the United States, but we don't know what gaming's like around the world.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be gamers in North Korea. Who knows what the hell they're playing, but there's gamers.
No, for sure.
So it's just curious.
No, I'm with you. That'd be interesting.
Maybe go to Africa.
Yeah.
See what all over Africa. It's like a worldwide, what everyone else games with around the world.
See what Iraq's up to.
See what games aliens are playing.
No, I'm with you. In general, I wish there was more video game media. Like the few documentaries that have came out have been good, but I feel like they have to kind of pander to a certain audience and know that if they don't do those things that nobody's going to watch it, which sucks that they can't just tell it how they would want to, because you do have to worry about like dumbing things down for everybody, because I get why they do it, because it gets a bigger audience, which in one way is cool, because then you can show people that don't really like video games or don't know it and can follow it. But it'd be nice to have deeper dives into stuff like that.
Yeah, because I think gaming is a good escape for some people. So if they're in a shitty situation and they're using games, it'd be cool. Like you learn about soldiers that take screens with them and their consoles with them. Or Nintendo has that Game Boy on display that got blown up in the Desert Storm that still works.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a good way to escape, so I would like to know more about especially some of these dystopian countries where people play these games to escape and they really can't supposed to be playing them. Like, you ever look up Call of Duty used to do this. You could look at a world map, it would light up everywhere where people were playing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, there's one little light over here. What's this guy's story? Is he just a rich, like, is his father one of the leaders, and that's why there's a light on in North Korea because he's allowed to?
Yeah, I always liked those, but never knew how accurate they were, how much to trust it, or if they're just doing that themselves to be like, look where everyone's playing it, and not actually true.
Yeah.
But I do like it in theory, and if you could trust everything, I wish every game would do that.
Besides Tetris, too, like, what was gaming like in Soviet Union? Because they weren't probably important games, or exporting or importing games, so I would like to know what that's like.
Yeah.
But all that stuff's so interesting.
I feel you. So I feel like everybody that's watching this video should comment their top 5 movies, and then we could talk about it next episode.
Yeah, what games they'd want.
Yeah. So I feel like some are probably going to line up, but I feel like if people are actually watching this, there'll be different ones, and ones that we didn't say that we could talk about. They could say the reasons that they wanted, or just literally list the top 5, and we could discuss it from there.
Well, I forgot to put this in honorable mentions, but I looked it up and thought about it. Was Portal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be, especially with the humor in that, if they could do that right, which that's the other thing. If you could just get the voice actors and that kind of stuff, that's all you need. That's another thing I really don't like about Halo and what they've done with Showtime, is that I get that you don't want the voice actor in the suit playing him because he's older and he's like a radio DJ who would not be able to do the role. But I don't get in stuff like that why there's such an argument about who it should be, because literally you need the voice. The only person who can do that better or the best is the person that has done it.
Yeah.
Nobody else can be more accurate than that.
Exactly.
And I always hate that kind of debate, and I wish Halo followed through with that. But I don't know if maybe that's an issue for the actor that they don't want to be in the suit if somebody else is talking for them or something.
There's a great documentary on that.
Oh, really?
The guy that wore the suit for Darth Vader. For
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about that.
Yeah. But where that's another case that, like, so many people were in the Vader suit, but James Earl Jones was the voice actor. He was Vader. So, yeah, I agree with you. There's no problem with having him voice. It's a suit. You don't know who's behind that.
Yeah, I get some of the things you talked about. You couldn't do that, but any case that you can, I feel like that's the go-to, especially all the animated or Pixar ones that we talked about, unless you want Gilbert Godfrey. But I feel like the go-to is the voice actor, and there's nobody can do it better than that. Something we didn't talk about when we talked about the coronavirus. Did you see they delayed and probably canceled GDC?
Really?
Yeah, and people are talking about possibly E3. If that happens, I'm going to fucking lose my mind. Especially, I could see E3 kind of dwindling away if it gets postponed or canceled.
Yeah.
Well, not postponed, but if it gets postponed, I don't think it's actually postponed. I'm guessing it's canceled, not postponed. And I feel like I don't think it is going to happen. I know Sony and some big names have left, but I feel like the fact that Microsoft and a lot of these bigger companies have committed is going to kind of force them to do it and not cancel it. And I hope so, because I don't know if I can go through with that. Our June would be so empty, not just for this show, but our lives.
That would suck.
Yeah.
What about PAX, too? PAX is coming up.
PAX East just happened. They went through with it.
Really?
Yeah, they Sony backed out of it. They said they weren't going, and they didn't. I don't know if you heard that. Well, you didn't since you didn't know what happened, but the mayor of Boston sent a letter out to Sony and the public and asked Sony to please change their minds and come to the convention.
Wow.
And he said how safe it is and that they don't have to worry, but they didn't respond to it.
Probably insurance reasons.
Yeah. So I just want to bring that up because I can't handle not having E3.
That would be sad.
Yeah. I'm being a little dramatic, but also be, fucking disappointment. So we can talk about the free games since I missed that last week.
Cool.
So on Xbox, you got Batman, The Enemy Within, which is a Telltale Batman game, which is, if you like Telltale games, that's one of the better ones, I think. Or even if you like Batman, I feel like it's a really good Batman story. You got Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 on the 360. And then on PlayStation Plus, you got Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic Forces. Such a weird combo.
That is. Did Sonic Forces get reviewed bad?
Yeah. And then the Predator Hunting Grounds, the trial. But I guess that doesn't start till the end of March, so I don't know if you can download it yet or not, but really? The trial hasn't started yet anyway, so.
Can you remind me?
I will. And I would want to play it with you too, because that'd make it way more fun. So yeah, I'll remind you. And we'll remind each other anyways on here.
Yeah, true. Duh.
I'm not saying that passive aggressive. I'm just saying that'll help. That's part of why I do that, because I know myself. I fucking miss these games sometime and I lose my mind.
That's a good. That and Shadow of Colossus. That's some pretty good games.
Yeah. I've actually never played Shadow of Colossus. I even own it, but because I told you I've heard just that's one of those games that's like kind of like Schindler's List of games that everybody's just like, oh, this is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So I need to play it, but I haven't yet. But I've heard some people that play it and they're like, yeah, I don't know what people are saying. This game's not good at all. So I don't know which game. Have you played it?
I had a friend that was super into, we're in middle school, every game that came out he played like nuts. I watched him play it a bunch, and I know the premise and what you're doing, and I love the movie Reign Over Me. And
you were going to say that?
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's purely based around that game, so I feel like I know a lot in the gist and what happens. I know the ending of the game.
Did they say that in the movie? Because thankfully I don't remember that. I was going to say I don't remember that stuff. I just remember him being obsessed with it.
Nope. And it's not even that like big thing. It was just kind of like it made me feel sad. Like I couldn't imagine playing that much in the game and then feeling that sad.
Yeah.
And it's always been those ones on my list I wanted to play, and I've started it. I had it on PS2 before they remastered it, and I started it.
Never played it though. Never finished it.
I should have looked into it. I don't know if this is. I know there's 3 versions of Shadow of the Colossus now. I know there's an original, a remastered, and then a reimagining. I don't know which one. And obviously, it's a remaster or a reimagining. I don't know if you saw that. I guess it's not just like remastered. They literally like changed the game.
I heard they changed the noises too, or something.
Yeah, is that what it is? Okay.
So yeah, that too. I probably wouldn't recommend the PS2 one because when I played it, PS2 has that issue. I know it's not its fault, but it has that fog.
Oh, yeah.
Keep render distance down.
Yeah.
That just drives me nuts.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, I have the PS3 version, and obviously I download this, so I'll have to see what the differences are. It's the remaster and the reimagining and whatnot. Is there anything else? Might be I can't look, but I feel like this might be our longest episode yet.
Really? I think that's it, man. I'm just going to try to get the games organized. And
yeah,
I promise I play more games than this. Like, even my girlfriend was like, I feel really bad for you. You haven't played games in forever. And it's just, stuff's a mess, man.
Oh, I know.
My OCD is through the roof.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That's part of why I have a couple games this time, and because I stuck with it. It helped that I've already had progress in those games, too, so it wasn't like a huge time commitment. That sounds like I did a lot, but it was a lot less than it really sounds. But I also tried to bunker down and do it, but that's one thing I also need to work on. I've talked about it a couple times, but getting better at finishing backlog, but also being okay not doing it sometimes. Like Outer World, I fucking love that game and stopped playing it. And it's going to get to a point where I go back and I don't know where I'm at and lost that 20-hour progress or however long I've been playing it. And I don't want that to happen, but I feel like if I play that game, then I'm going to sit down and play for 20 hours, and then I could have beat 2 or 3 games with that. But why is that an issue? Because I love this game, so it's not like it's a chore to play it. I'm having fun. So if I'm doing that and it's still in one game throughout a month, I feel I need to realize that's not an issue to do that sometimes.
Exactly.
But, yeah, it's hard to do that when you're like, man, all these games are sitting there and we have a podcast about a backlog. So if I just talk about this game, then it seems like I'm not really following through with what we're talking about. But I feel like that is part of a backlog. You got to balance all these different styles of games and lengths and everything.
Yep.
And also, like you said, the times you can't play at all or the little amount of free time or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and thank you for everybody that listens.
Yeah.
James, thank you. I think you're probably the only person who made it this far. I appreciate it, man. It's motivation.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Makes me nervous and kind of embarrassed. Sometimes I'm like, well, people are actually listening to this.
Danielle said she watched all of them too, and Jason said he did.
Really?
So that's at least 3 we got right there.
Well, thanks, guys.
I'm sure hopefully more. I know Ryan's not one of them, as we discussed.
No, he doesn't answer any of the questions. He's not listening to any of this. He's just like, wow, what a couple cute hotties. Cool. Wink face.
That's funny you said that. He said, I couldn't listen to the last episode, but I couldn't think of a comment to post for you guys, so I just didn't do anything. Like, how could I not think of anything? You just call us hot both times. All right, well, I think that's a good point to end it. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at The Current Backlog. You can email us at thecurrentbackloggers@gmail.com. Like, subscribe. The bell, is that what you said to call it? The bell?
Yeah, the bell.
Turn the bell on.
Yeah, click that bell.
Ooh, I like that.
James brought up a good point tonight, too, so I almost forgot.
Oh, no, you're good.
Make a list for our backlog.
I said the same thing to you, or to him that you said to him. I was like, oh, God, I don't know if I could do that. That's overwhelming. I even said the same thing. I'm going to tell Cody then. Oh, his answer's going to be worse. All he does is collect, so he's going to be really overwhelmed. But no, it is good. It is a good idea, and I want to do it. It just might take some time, but no, it is a good idea, definitely. Because it would help to have it in front of you and be able to see which games are short, if you have a short amount of time, or if you want to sit down for a good amount of time to follow through with one long game like Outer Worlds or something, and not worry about skipping these games for a while and may not being as current.
Well, my thought process too was it's not a list, but it's along the same lines. Is once I have everything on a shelf, I can then have like a little sticker that I can take off real easy and just put it on each case that I've beat.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Easily figure out. And I'm gonna do it with movies too, because I have a bunch of DVDs that I'd like to watch.
I gotcha.
But yeah, we'll figure something out.
All right.
Well, goodbye.
I love you. I love you, Cody.
I love you too.